So obviously with SSG, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to be SSG2. We're still going to have our own identity and our own style.
Right. So here I am with Trevmak, also of SSG Academy. Trev, how you doing?
Doing good, Aiden.
Pretty good. And so you're one of the recent pickups for SSG Academy, one of the latest of the NA shuffle as it is, which is even affecting T2. Like, why join SSG Academy, and what makes them such a strong contender for this team? Because I think, like Amke said, he's expecting this team to be one of the top dogs.
So this team, like E2 aside, is like a long-term project rather
Okay.
than like a short-term. I
Yeah.
don't know if MP mentioned that or not.
A little
But
bit.
of course, we have high hopes for E2. Like
Yeah.
practice has been looking good. We haven't just been like just practicing to like scrim. We've been practicing to improve, and you can definitely tell from like our first day. We've only practiced for like a week or so already, and I can already tell like improvements and see improvements.
Right. And so, from what I was told, you're calling the early round for this team, and then after that, it kind of devolves into whoever sees openings and whatever information you have, people kind of call based on what they see, and you go from there. Like, are you effectively the IGL for this team, or is it kind of like split responsibility? Is there a secondary caller?
So right now, it's kind of like I don't think we have anything like set in stone.
Yeah, yeah.
Right now, it's either focal or myself calling. As of like the past like 2 or 3 scrims, it's been like mainly focal, and I've been playing that more like I've been more like the role player, like the floors, the brow, the twitch, just like clearing shit, opening windows, all of that. I haven't been like I've been doing like the bitch shit right
Yeah,
now,
yeah, yeah.
like the secondary bitch girl. So.
Yeah. And so you're one of those players that like I've heard historically has been one of those like vocal players, even if they're not necessarily like an IGL figure. You're always like giving vocal comms and trying to give ideas and all that stuff. What do you think when a player isn't necessarily a IGL? How do they still give good communications and provide value to help facilitate the team, even when they're not supposed to like be leading or calling all the strats?
Well, as of last meta, and I would still say it's going to be like this meta, and this is going to be to the game dies pretty much. And I think any esport is everyone on the team needs people to be vocal first off, and then two needs to give good ideas. Like you need to give input.
Okay.
Maybe on a team, like one person can be like quiet and be like that sit back player, but for the most part, any good team, everyone's gonna be very vocal, and they're gonna have their ideas, their input on what they want to do.
Right.
And I'm
And
definitely one of those players.
okay. And SSG Academy is one of those teams with like a lot of vocal players. Like you're all talking a lot, giving out ideas.
Yeah.
Right. And so I also heard that Callout's pretty involved with this iteration of SSG Academy. Is that part of like the long term status of this team? Is like Callout and the SSG main boys are going to be pretty aware and per, like I guess participating for lack of a better word because the right one's escaping me. Like helping out with this project. Like is that part of that process?
Yeah, so pretty much how it is right now is like I've already learned a lot from them. Like Callout, he sent us some of like their ideas and philosophies, and then some of like their strats and like their idea of the game, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And I've learned a lot from that. And it's we're not going to be like so obviously with SSG, right?
yeah.
We're not going to be SSG2. We're still going to have our own identity and our own style, but we're going to take a lot from them. You
Okay.
sh you probably see some similarities in play style, at least later on. I'm not sure how much for like E2, but we'll definitely be there.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that I should expect like a Forest 2 in the team, let your nuts hang, just like blitz rush every round, is what you're telling me.
Not every round, but yeah, occasionally.
Okay, okay. I can get behind that. And so, looking towards ETU, what do you think like of the field of the other teams now that some of the dust from the roster shuffle has kind of calmed down and like we're getting some of those teams down more concretely with like set rosters? What do you think of the teams now that things have calmed down?
Well, I know like some of the teams like they just like so we're as of like right now, I joined the team last, I can tell you, into my first day trying out, which my first time trying out was with Knicks.
Okay.
Uh I'll tell you, give me 1 second.
Yeah, yeah.
It was literally like a week ago. Uh It was November 21st is the first day I tried out. So literally I worked a week today because
Yeah.
today's the 28th. Uh, and from what I've heard from some of the other teams is they're also not scrimming a lot or they're making roster changes. So we're not that far behind like everyone else.
Okay. And like, what do you think of the state of some of these other teams with all those roster changes? Like, I'm hearing for some teams, like ex pros are in, they're out, they're back in, they're back out. You know, you're seeing some of their like T2 players that just qualified on those teams in, out, back in. You know, what are your thoughts on some of these other competitors out there and like the state of their teams with some of these new like rosters?
I think a lot of them, they might find some early success, but as soon as they get to playoffs, they're just going to fall off.
Got it. Got it.
Especially the teams that are just like picking up pros to kind of pick up pros, right? Like I get the idea is obviously you're going to play with a pro, especially if they're going to go back to pro. If you did good, leave a good impression, like Liam do like a tryout, like it
Yeah.
all makes sense. But as far as like winning or going like very far in E2, I don't think it makes the most sense.
Right. And so, is there anyone that you want to play in particular in this tournament? Like, should the brackets bless it? Any like Shunner
Hmm.
Esports veteran graduates that you want to play off again, or any of that?
I really wish Trunner would have made it. I wanted to play Sunvale. But another team that just made it through quals, I think they're called Pote Gang. I'll play Mendez. He's
Yeah,
played with
yeah.
Mendez like a while ago. And I wanna beat him. Need to put him in his place.
Right, right. And then, last thing here, is there anything you want to say? Anyone you want to shout out, or like challenges to issue, as it were? Just whatever it is, the floor is yours.
I want to shout out DMC because actually he just came in literally like 5 days ago and he is really good. He knows what he's talking about. And I think long term he's gonna be the reason we're not a lot of success.
Okay.
Uh I want to shout out like the core member of the SSG guys, Vale, JetCon, and Amkey for like giving me the trial and giving me the opportunity to do this. Because obviously there's a lot of options right now, right? Like
Yeah,
they didn't
yeah.
have to pick me. So I'm glad that they did and I'm glad that they trust me. And then oh, you know who I wanna go beat E1 All Stars.
You and All Stars? All
Yeah, I
right.
kinda got drafted from that team. So
Okay, okay. That does remind me
coming for
though.
them.
I a bit of a joke question to close out here, but why are you such an ACOG enjoyer? Like, what about it appeals to you? Why not just use a 1.5 like everyone else?
It's my eyes. Like it's just easier to see. I feel more focused when I have an ACOG because it's like I have less to worry about, right?
Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm also a fellow ACOG enjoyer, so like, fair play.
I love the ACOG. You'll see it. You'll definitely see it.